Welcome to the Explainer. So today, I want you to grab your press passes. We're going to pretend, just for a few minutes, that we aren't adults navigating this crazy modern media landscape, but instead, we're investigative reporters for a fifth grade school paper. We're looking at this brilliant 3-day educational lesson called the Eyewitness. Sure, it's designed for 10 and 11-year-olds, but honestly, the critical thinking and media literacy skills in here are literally a masterclass for all of us. Let's dive right in. Okay, so here's the situation we're walking into. Over the weekend, the beloved school garden was completely trampled and ruined. It's a disaster. And the school principal has specifically asked your investigative team to report on what actually happened. Right off the bat, you're hit with 3 conflicting eyewitness accounts. Our mission, and the mission of the kids taking this lesson, is to find the absolute truth. And we're going to do that not by simply trusting the loudest voice, but by carefully reading our sources and figuring out who is actually reliable.
All right, day 1, the accounts. Time to weigh the witnesses.
So the investigation kicks off by challenging us to act like real journalists. We have to weigh each statement carefully, right? We need to look past what they're actually saying to examine their point of view, their potential biases, and whether they have any first-hand evidence or if they're just, throwing out empty assumptions. Take our first witness, Mia. She is a very, very upset member of the garden club. Her account is loud, it's confident, and man, is it highly emotional. She says, "Someone ruined our garden on purpose. It had to be someone who hates the garden club." But if we look closely at what she's actually saying, is there a single shred of physical evidence here? No way. Her profound feelings about the garden are completely shaping her story. She's assuming intent without a single fact to back it up. Next up, we have Sam. Now, Sam openly admits he doesn't really like the garden club. He tells us, "I bet the soccer team did it. They're always careless. They probably ran right through it." Notice the language he's using here. I bet, always careless, probably. Guys, this isn't an eyewitness account. This is just a textbook demonstration of bias. Sam has this pre-existing annoyance with the soccer team, and he's totally letting that dictate his narrative. It's a complete guess masquerading as a factual claim. Finally, we talk to Mr. Lee, the school custodian. Now, he got to the school bright and early at 6 a.m. on Monday, and he tells us, "The garden fence was knocked down, and I saw large dog paw prints in the mud leading to a hole in the fence." Do you see the stark difference here? Mr. Lee is entirely neutral. He isn't making these grand, sweeping accusations. Instead, he's giving us firsthand, specific physical observations. He actually saw the fence, he saw the paw prints, he noted the mud and the hole. Hands down, this makes him our most reliable witness so far. So, the really crucial point is this juxtaposition right here. We have Mia and Sam offering highly emotional guesses versus Mr. Lee offering concrete physical evidence. And for fifth graders, and let's be real, for a lot of us adults scrolling through our social media feeds, the loudest, most dramatic, and most confident story is so often the most tempting one to believe. It just feels compelling. But the core rule we establish on day 1 is that reliability comes from verifiable facts and first-hand evidence, never from just confidence or emotion alone. Moving right along to day 2, the evidence. This is where we start corroborating our sources. Okay, so now that we've analyzed the initial accounts, new information is starting to roll in. Our job shifts to corroboration. We're cross-referencing claims across multiple independent sources to see what actually holds up and what completely falls apart. We have a neighbor who saw a stray dog, a weather report confirming heavy rain, and a soccer player who confirms the team didn't even practice. Look at how beautifully all this evidence aligns. The claim that a stray dog did it, well, that's supported by Mr. Lee's paw prints, the neighbor's sighting, and the weather explaining all that mud. No contradictions at all. Meanwhile, Sam's rumor about the soccer team completely busted by the fact that the field was closed for rain. And Mia's dramatic claim of sabotage? Yeah, completely contradicted by the paw prints pointing straight to an animal. And this brings us to the central media literacy anchor of this entire explainer: corroboration. A claim backed by several independent sources who haven't spoken to each other is infinitely stronger than one loud voice. By combining multiple sources, like the weather, the custodian, the neighbor, students learn that you get a much, much more reliable picture of reality than if you just listen to the single most dramatic account. It's absolutely a vital life skill, perfectly packaged as a fun schoolyard mystery.
Welcome to day 3, the report. Let's write the facts.
All right, it is time to go to press. The students now have to separate fact from opinion and publish a fair, accurate news report based on everything they've uncovered. but the lesson gives them some pretty strict professional constraints. To write a fair report of just 5 to 7 sentences, they must explicitly state what most likely happened. They have to use at least 2 pieces of evidence from different sources, which proves they actually understand corroboration. They are explicitly forbidden from repeating Sam or Mia's guesses as facts, and I absolutely love this last rule. They have to note one thing that is still unknown. In this case, they know a dog did it, but they don't know whose dog it is. Honestly, admitting what you don't know is a hallmark of good journalism and honest information sharing.
Assessing students. Let's evaluate their discernment.
Let's pull back the curtain for a second and look at the brilliant educational scaffolding that actually makes this lesson work in a diverse classroom. This lesson is designed to support all learners, and it does that without ever dumbing down the core critical thinking challenge. For kids who might struggle staring at a blank page, the lesson provides scaffolded sentence frames and really specific point of view prompts. For example, it asks, was the person there? Do they give a fact you could check? The students still have to do the heavy lifting of judging reliability and sorting the facts, but that structural support really helps guide their thinking process.
And how is this assessed? Honestly, this is my favorite part. The grading rubric focuses entirely on reasoning, not just on whether the student guessed the right culprit. A student is evaluated on whether they successfully identified bias and feelings in those initial accounts. Did they use multiple sources to corroborate claims? Did they keep their final report strictly evidence-based and free of their own opinions? It's really all about evaluating the intellectual journey, ensuring they understand the why and the how of gathering information, rather than just solving the whodunit. To keep things manageable for teachers, the lesson uses a super straightforward 3-point grading scale: strong, developing, and beginning. This simple metric allows an educator to quickly evaluate these incredibly complex critical thinking skills, ensuring that every single student is moving toward a highly objective, discerning mindset. To wrap this all up, the lesson plan ends with a capstone reflection for the students, and I want to pose that exact same question to you right now. Across the 3 days, how did weighing each person's point of view and corroborating sources help you find what really happened, instead of just going with the most confident or dramatic story? Ask yourself, when has checking the evidence actually changed what you believed? It's a pretty powerful reminder that the media literacy skills taught in this 5th grade classroom are literally the exact same tools we all need to navigate the world every single day. Keep checking the evidence, guys, and I'll see you in the next explainer.